Tom is 63. He just retired from a plant in Ohio with $500,000 saved. He wanted monthly income from dividends. So Tom did what most people do. He Googled Best High Dividend ETF. The top result was a fund paying 7%. 7% sounded amazing. On $500,000, that is $35,000 a year. He moved everything in. Then February hit. The market dropped. By April, Tom's account was down almost $50,000. His dividend check stayed the same, but his principal was bleeding. Tom did not pick a bad fund. He picked the wrong fund for his life stage. Nobody taught him the difference. So I did something nobody else has done. I took 22 of the biggest dividend ETFs in America and graded every one on 6 things that actually matter when you are over 50. By the end of this video, you will know which dividend ETFs belong in your portfolio and which to avoid. And the fund I ranked number 4 is one most investors have never heard of. It came in ahead of JEPI and fixes the biggest tax problem in dividend investing. Quick note, I am not a financial advisor or government employee. Everything here is for educational purposes only. For your specific situation, always check with a qualified professional. Before the rankings, you need to see how I scored them, because the reason most people pick the wrong fund is simple. They're only looking at one number, the 6-dimension scorecard. Most dividend rankings look at yield, one number. That's it. Here's the problem. A fund can have a 7% yield and fall 40% in a downturn. Another fund can have a 3% yield and double your income over 10 years. Yield alone can't tell these two apart. So I used 6 dimensions. The first is drawdown protection, weighted 25%, the highest weight, because when you're over 50, a big drop hurts more than it used to. If a fund loses 40% in year 1 of retirement, you could run out of money 10 years earlier than planned. This is called sequence of returns risk. Fancy name, simple idea. The order of your returns matters. Second is dividend growth at 20%. A dividend that grows 8% a year doubles in 9 years. That's how your income beats inflation. Third is current yield at 20%, the cash you get today. Fourth is tax efficiency at 15%, because what you keep matters more than what you earn. Fifth is expense ratio at 10%. And sixth, account fit at 10%, whether the fund belongs in an IRA or a taxable brokerage. The key insight, drawdown protection matters 3 times more than expense ratio for someone your age. Most rankings ignore this. They score funds like you're 25. You're not. That changes everything. I scored every fund out of 100. Let's start at the bottom, because knowing what to avoid is half the battle. The bottom tier, where high yield goes to die. These are the 4 lowest scoring funds. 3 of them are famous. Number 22 is FEPI, the Rex Fang and Innovation Equity Premium Income ETF. It pays the highest yield on the list, over 25%. Sounds incredible. Here is the problem. FEPI has lost money since it launched. The share price keeps dropping. Yes, you get a big monthly check, but the fund itself is shrinking. In plain English, they're paying you back with your own money. Number 21 is SPYI, cheap fee, decent yield. But in March 2020, SPYI dropped 46% in 1 month. VYM, a similar fund, only dropped 35%. Why the gap? SPYI owns the 80 highest yielding S&P 500 stocks. When a stock crashes, its yield rises, so SPYI buys more of it. It doubles down on falling stocks. That's a value trap. Numbers 20 and 19 are Main and O. These are not ETFs, they're single stocks. Main Street Capital is a business development company. Realty Income is a real estate trust. Both high quality, both pay great dividends. But one company going bad could wreck your income. You don't need that risk when you have 22 diversified funds to choose from. So now you know the bottom. But here's where most dividend investors actually live, the middle of the pack. And one of these funds is a hidden tax disaster most people never catch. The middle tier. Good, not great, and why it matters. This is where most famous high-income names live. Some are great funds, but only in the right account. Look at number 16, JEPI, the J.P. Morgan Equity Premium Income ETF. Over 8% a year, $45 billion in assets, one of the most popular dividend ETFs in America. Here's the hidden problem. JEPI earns its income from something called equity-linked notes. The IRS treats that income as ordinary, not as qualified dividends. If you hold JEPI in a taxable brokerage, you could pay up to 37% federal tax on every dollar. Compare that to SCHD, where you pay 0 to 15%. On a $40,000 income stream, that's a $15,000 a year difference in your pocket. Here's the truth most people never hear. JEPI is a great fund, but it belongs in an IRA or a Roth, not in a taxable account. Right home, it works. Wrong home, the IRS eats a quarter of your income. Before I show you the top 7, drop a comment right now. Are you holding JEPI, and is it in a taxable account or an IRA? I read every single comment. Number 12 is SCHY, the international version of SCHD. Low volatility, quality screens. And number 11 is QQQI, a newer fund paying over 14%. Think of it as JEPI's tech-heavy cousin with better tax treatment. Only launched in 2024, so the track record is short. Now we get to the top 7. The number 1 fund hasn't changed from last year, but the number 2, 3, and 4 funds all changed, and one of them didn't even exist 4 years ago. The top tier, the 7 that earned their spot. These are the 7 best dividend ETFs in America for a retirement investor.
Number 7 is VYM, Vanguard's Broad High Yield Fund. Over 500 stocks, a fee of 0.06%. Boring, reliable. Belongs in almost every portfolio. Number 6 is HDV, a quiet winner. In 2022, when the whole market fell, HDV actually went up 7%. Its beta is 0.45, the lowest in the study. If you are worried about a crash, HDV is your defender. Number 5 is VIG, only 1.5% yield today. So why top 5? Because VIG owns the best dividend-growing companies in America: Microsoft, Broadcom, Apple, JP Morgan. Over the last 3 years, VIG has beaten SCHD. It pays less now, but it grows faster. Now, let me reframe a myth. Here is the myth. High yield is always better. Here is the truth. SPYI has a higher yield than SCHD. SPYI lost 46% in a month. SCHD kept growing its dividend. Higher yield is not better. Higher quality yield is better. Two different things. Number 4 is SPYI, the fund most viewers have never heard of. Launched in 2022, pays over 12% a year. Here's what makes it special. SPYI uses Section 1256 contracts. Without getting technical, this caps your federal tax rate at about 27%, even in the top bracket, and about 90% of its distributions are classified as return of capital, which defers your tax bill. For someone who needs high income in a taxable brokerage, this is the best structure I have found. Number 3 is DGRO, nearly 400 stocks, a fee of 0.08%. DGRO sits in the sweet spot between yield and growth. For most investors, it's a perfect partner to SCHD. Number 2 is FDVV, Fidelity's High Dividend Fund. This was a surprise. FDVV was rebuilt in 2023 to let technology into the fund. It holds NVIDIA, Apple, and Microsoft at the top, but still pays 3% with 10% dividend growth. Over 5 years, the best total return on the list. And number 1, SCHD, 3.4% yield, a 5-year dividend growth rate of 10.6%, a fee of 0.06%. 100 of the highest quality dividend companies in America. SCHD is not flashy. In 2025, it only returned 4%. But over time, no fund has done a better job of paying a rising income for a reasonable price. So, SCHD is the champion. But here's what the rankings don't tell you. The #1 ETF for a 50-year-old is not the #1 ETF for a 68-year-old. The best fund actually changes as you get closer to needing the money. The life cycle verdict. The best ETF changes as you get closer to needing the money. This is the part I care most about. The real answer to what is the best dividend ETF depends on how close you are to needing the money. If you're 15 or more years from needing income, say you're 50, planning for 67, you want dividend growth. SCHD as your core, DGRO for diversity, VIG for low volatility. This combination is 100% qualified dividend. That means in 2026, a married couple with income under $98,900 pays 0 federal tax on those dividends. If you're 5 to 10 years from needing income, 60, planning for 65, you want a blend. Keep SCHD as anchor, add DGRO and SCHY. Introduce a small slice of JEPI inside your IRA. You're building the habit of monthly income without the tax drag. If you need the income right now, your asset location matters more than your fund selection. Inside an IRA or Roth, JEPI gives you an 8% monthly paycheck without the tax problem. Inside a taxable brokerage, SPYI does the same job with the Section 1256 treatment, and SCHD stays as your qualified dividend core in both. Here's the insight nobody tells you. Tom, the man from the start, had 15 years until he needed income. He should have been in SCHD, DGRO, and VIG. Instead, he picked a high-yield fund built for someone already retired. The drawdown destroyed him. The best dividend ETF isn't a fund. It's a function of how close you are to needing the money. That's the whole video in one sentence. Screenshot it. Text it to your spouse. Once you understand it, every other dividend decision gets easier. If you know someone building a retirement income plan or someone chasing yield the way Tom did, share this video with them. It could save them $50,000 and a lot of stress. Here's my question. Drop it in the comments. Where are you on the life cycle? 15 plus years out? 5 to 10 years out? Or income needed now? I want to see the mix. If you're building retirement income and want to stay ahead of changes like new covered call funds and tax updates, subscribe to this channel. I cover everything that protects your income. Next week, I'm showing you the exact 3-fund dividend portfolio I would build today at age 62 with $500,000. Same framework, real allocations, real numbers. See you then.